This is the Hurdyburg Internet Broadcast Network, and we are broadcasting live from and I always laugh about this, Megan, you ready? The state-of-the-art studios in Round Rock, Texas.
Woohoo.
Don't comment, okay? Actually, if somebody has to tell you they're in the state-of-the-art studio, they're probably really not in the state-of-the-art studio, but regardless, my guest tonight is Megan Tull. Megan, prove that you're here. Just say hi.
Hello.
And Megan is a business coach, and we're going to be covering a lot of material tonight. And if you're joining us live, you know that we're on every Tuesday night from 7 to 8. And just to give a little bit for the first-time listeners, because I know you sent out some posts today, I sent out some posts today. If you're a first-time listener, you're listening to this on YouTube, and you will also know that I have about 11 sponsors for the show. And my sponsors know I can't get to every single one of them, but if you're an Austin business, this is what this show's about. We support local Austin business, and the sponsors that pay for the show, that allows us to bring people like Megan in and sit down and tell us what's going on in her world and how she's helping folks in the Austin, Texas area. Although I will say Megan is also pretty much national. You work with clients all over the United States, even international. So in this case, having a bigger audience in Austin is kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
awesome. So anyhow, we want to thank these guys right here. You probably heard that, huh? All right. And so we have quite a few sponsors for the show. And before we get to Megan, I want to mention two at the top. My guest next week will be AMS Garage Doors. They just did their show with us last year, but they're one of our sponsors, amsgaragedoors.com. If you ever hear a noise on your garage door, if it doesn't go up and down and it makes a lot of noise, it probably needs to be checked. These guys are really cool. They've been doing business for a long time, and what I really like about Mike, he's one of our ex-military, so we like to support our servicemen, and he's an expert in what he does. All their prices at amsgaragedoors.com are located on their website. There's no hidden fees. There's no come out, this is what's going to cost you. And Megan, let's say you pulled in your garage and you got halfway down and got stuck one night and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and you had to back out and get to work. Okay, so you're verifying this.
Yep.
They come out 24/7, no charge, make sure they get the car out of the garage, secure it, then come back the next day and make sure they take care of it.
Wow. That's
So
awesome.
don't mess with your garage door. There's this big giant spring, and if you mess with that and try to fix it yourself, you're liable to hurt yourself really bad. So let people that are professionals do it, amsgaragedoors.com. And then I want to thank Danny L. Smith, DannyLSmith.com. Danny is a loan mortgage officer, 29 years, working with people on mortgaging their homes, refinancing jumbo loans, whatever kind of loan you need. And he also teaches a guerrilla marketing course for realtors that he does leadership groups for to help realtors with the social networking and also the tools and leadership in their jobs, which are really cool. And so go check out DannyLSmith.com. The Guerrilla Marketing for Realtors is there. His mortgage stuff's there. His blog's there. He writes a lot about leadership and personal stuff. So go check out DannyLSmith.com. Thank you, guys, and we want to thank our sponsors one more time. And tonight, I got a special guest. Megan Tull's in the house, and she is a wonderful business coach. And to show you just how organized she is one of the few people that just didn't bring the handwritten questions in, say, 10 minutes before the show started, Megan. I appreciate that. You sent me some wonderful questions tonight that we're going to address, and you also are going to talk to us a little bit about, what you do. So let's get into you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me this evening.
You're welcome.
It's such a pleasure to be here. So, I call myself an entrepreneur success strategist.
What does that mean?
To be specific. I work with entrepreneurs and small business owners and really having them share their gifts with the world and get paid generously for it. So doing what they love, but yet, having a very profitable business around it. I'm also a professional speaker and author. I've been an entrepreneur for over 25 years.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and I've started 7 different businesses from the ground up, so I do know a thing or two
So
about
you have
building
experience in
businesses.
building the businesses,
Yep.
and you know about the School of Hard Knocks and the learning curves we go through, right?
Yep,
And you try to save
absolutely.
people time on that. So we know you're a big-time Austin resident, right? But we also know, and I'm going to let you fill us in the gaps a little bit. Let's mention, before we get into a little bit about you, let's talk about a website.
Okay.
Where do you want to direct people right now?
So if you want to check out a little bit more about me and some of the products and services that I offer and get some really cool free training and great tips and tools, you can go to www.megantull.com. That's MEGANTULL.com.
One of the easier ones to spell, right, and get to. So go check out megantull.com. Now, you've been an Austin resident for quite a while. We know that your clients are not only local, they're national, and to some extent, I imagine they're international since you're writing a book, an author, and it can be sold anywhere through Amazon, whoever you're going to use as your publisher, right? So tell us a little bit.
The internet, too.
The internet's going to be a big deal, right? So tell us a little bit about, give us a little bit of background. Let's get to know Megan right now.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm very passionate about helping people create a purposeful, fulfilled, passionate, and abundant life, and really based on balance and self-care. So they're not sacrificing one thing for another. They're able to have it all and, have a solid family life and have a successful business that they love. And my mission is to really help heartfelt entrepreneurs and sharing their gifts with the world and getting paid generously for it. And that's something that I really take to heart and really work with individuals and getting clear on what that is, what that means for them, and going through that process. There's a lot of deep work often that needs to be done to get to that place. So that's what I'm very passionate about helping individuals do.
And so, okay, so I'm going to just tell a little story here. Can I tell a story about you?
Sure.
All right, so I'm in a network. Well, it's nice. It's really good. I was in a network group. I got to finally, hear you speak. And you went through a very nice presentation to the group about, raising your awareness of why money should be considered a good thing, not a bad thing. Now, I'm paraphrasing this, correct? Okay, but you really did drill down a lot of belief systems, and you really went into a lot of what makes us think the way we think, right? And you really are an expert, at least in my opinion, of getting people to start thinking about raising their lid a little bit, right, in their head, and changing their head, and changing their thoughts, and getting a whole different action about how they think about stuff, right? So how does that tie into your mission? How does that tie into your mission?
Well, certainly in order to improve your life and have a successful business, you do have to go through that deeper work. And a lot of us have some, negative beliefs, which we'll talk about more later.
Wow, and there could be a few of them.
Yeah, and it really, unless we get those handled, first you need to uncover them and find out what they are, because most people go around not even knowing that they exist. So, identifying
Are you saying normal's normal for some people?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
Identifying them first, and then working to let them go. So then there's room to create a more positive belief system in moving forward. So that deep work needs to be done before then you can step into the place of that confident, successful entrepreneur. So that it's a lot of the work that I do, and in fulfilling my mission and helping these entrepreneurs.
Trying to kind of figure it out and giving them some benchmarks, guidelines, and things that we're going to talk about more here. Now, I know that you personally, and I've heard a little bit of your story based on some of the videos we shot, right? I know you've been through adversity, but you were still able to accomplish a lot of stuff, and maybe this is a good time to kind of share that with our audience, to kind of let them know what you've been through, because a lot of your coaching experience comes from stuff you've been through, right?
Yeah, you got that right. And I know everybody has a story. So mine is, I'm going to be sharing my story with you, because we've all had our challenges, but I've had many ups and downs in my life. And way back when I was 15, I met my my first husband. We were high school sweethearts, and ended up marrying my high school sweetheart. And unfortunately, he developed an addiction to alcohol. So there were many, many years of him struggling with that disease. And I don't know if anybody on the line has experienced either being married to an alcoholic or being around an alcoholic in their life, but it's a very, very difficult thing. So there were a lot of challenges that came up around that. And unfortunately, that horrible disease ended up taking his life. So at the age of 30, I became a widow.
Wow.
And my son, Cameron, at the time was 2.5 years old. So as you can imagine, our whole world was turned upside down. And the silver lining was my son was my rock. Even at 2.5, he had the coolest personality, would make me laugh. So, one of the things that he helped me do was kind of get clear on what my priorities were. I was at that time working for an international skincare company. I was a manager for the whole state of Florida, so the position required quite a bit of travel. And over time, that travel became very, very difficult. I did not want to leave my son, and that was really tough. So I made a decision, putting those priorities first and wanting to be there with my son. So that was my driving force to start my first home-based business. So he's now 16, but he still serves as my rock, and actually in our family, he's our peacemaker. Just being around him is this amazing sense of peace that happens when you're around him. But as difficult as my experiences were, I am blessed to have a wonderful family and tremendous opportunities in my life. And my experiences really provided 3 very important blessings. One, it made me a stronger person. I was able to persevere through those challenges. And also, it made me who I am today. And it has equipped me with the experience and knowledge to help others that may be experiencing similar situations. So
That's
I do
awesome.
look back now as those challenges more as blessings and something that I needed to go through to be able to be where I am today.
And isn't that funny that we don't ever see that at the time, right? When we're struggling with people in recovery or not going through recovery, but yet we're going through that with them. I understand that, believe me, when I say that. There's you have to overcome so much mentally and then physically too, because it wears you out, right? So it makes the story really good, and it really makes what you do for people really count, because you can say, you know what, I have been there. And sometimes I guess you can even say no excuses, right? I've been there. You got to pick yourself up, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is what you did. Right, so my question to you is how? How did you do that? What did you do? A lot of people would probably like to know. I don't mean go into all the gory detail, but just what did you do? Did you just did you just wake up one day and go, darn it? Something like that, and say, I'm tired of this, I'm just going to start and do this?
Well, I think having a strong why is very key in being successful, and my why was being there for my son. So I knew I wanted to have a flexible schedule to be able to put my son first and be there for him. So that was my driving force.
So that was your driving force to stay home, so you knew you had to do something, right?
Yeah, and you know what? There were a lot of challenges starting a business from home, a huge learning curve. I had to learn how to market on the internet, which definitely is not easy, and a lot of trials and tribulations through the process. But actually, my first year working from home, I was able to triple my income. So, with a lot of hard work and dedication and
a belief system, which we're going to talk about.
Belief system, yeah, absolutely, it is possible. So that's kind of what opened my eyes up to what was possible, and I have never worked for anybody else since. And that was about 12 years ago.
And that's
So,
awesome. And so, once again, for listeners coming in a little bit late, do you have a website we can direct them to? Don't leave the show. Just open another browser. Go check out our website. What's the website,
You can
Megan?
go to www.megantull.com for more information about me and my products and services.
Right, and you got some cool stuff at the end of the show we're going to trickle down and show them how to get, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But, okay, so honestly, you work with a lot of entrepreneurs. You've worked with a lot of them. Your speaking engagements, your one-to-one, and there's a lot of challenges, obviously, that go with, running a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is some of the challenges that you see entrepreneurs going through that are trying to either run a startup, which there's a lot of that going on today, or just running their business?
Well, one of the biggest challenges I see is that many entrepreneurs are not clear on the value that they provide. So they don't know what to charge.
Right.
And they're not charging what they're worth.
Right. And so, which leaves me, I'm going to interrupt you here,
Sure.
okay, because this is kitchen table talk, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, when somebody's starting out, they're kind of playing around with their model, right? You're right. They're probably way down here, and they need to go up here, but they hadn't figured that out yet because they haven't been beat up enough with their time to get mad, right, or something. You know what I'm saying? Or run around, and they're getting a little bit, but then they're starting to think, man, I'm doing an awful lot of running around for a little bit of money. Right?
Exactly.
So they start figuring it out, right?
They really give away a lot of their time, talents, and efforts, and it's because they don't understand the value that they offer.
And how do we get that? That's the question.
All right. Well, let me back up there for a minute because what this results in is working too many hours, getting stressed out and frustrated, getting burnt out, or you struggle to even close a sale due to the underlying fear or doubt that shows up.
Or asking for it.
Feelings of, am I good enough? Am I worth it? And, these thoughts or feelings are really disempowering and will sabotage your success.
Fear can kill you.
Absolutely.
In more ways than one, right?
So, yeah, I mean, with this this mindset of not really being clear on what your value is, it really poses a huge problem, and that's why so many entrepreneurs struggle in building a business or just kind of moving to the next level. Even if they become successful, then how do you up-level your business?
Right.
There's always some mindset shifts that have to take place.
And now what I'm hearing you also say, right, is that they might have the mindset, they might even have the business skills, right? And those have to evolve and learn through repetition, obviously, and discovery. But the one thing that has to go with all this is you better understand your value, and you better have a belief system that you really, first of all, passionate about what you're doing, right? But you better have a belief system intact that propels you to figure it out. Because without that, you can have all the business skills in the world, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what is the biggest challenge that you see? Let's put an umbrella helicopter view down on the business entrepreneur world, right? You're looking down, you've worked with a lot of them. What is the number one thing that you see that these small business entrepreneurs don't do? Is that the right way to say it, or should I ask it a different way?
Well, I think, again, it comes back to not knowing their value.
Okay.
So if I could, I have a great process that I'd love to share with listeners.
Let's go.
That really helps you to start realizing your value.
Yep.
And becoming clear.
You're good.
So it really involves 3 questions you want to ask yourself. So the first one being...
Write these down now.
So you want to think about what makes you unique, what makes you different. So think about what you bring to the table. What are your experiences, your gifts, your talents, your skill sets? So how does this affect your product or service that you're offering with what you bring? So getting really clear on that is so important. So don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Look at what you can offer, what you bring to the table. So that's number 1.
All right.
The second one is thinking about what problem your product or service solves. So think about, your ideal client and some problems that they may be struggling with. So let's say, for example, you're a personal trainer. So a problem that your ideal client may be struggling with is being overweight or having low energy, for example, right?
Could be several things,
It
right?
could be many, but
Right.
let's say those are two of the top ones. Okay, so identifying the problem that your ideal client faces is really important. And then the third thing is, what is the solution or transformation that you offer?
Right.
How can you help them? And so, again, if it's the personal trainer, you can help them to lose weight and get to their ideal weight. You can help them create more energy, get stronger, whatever it might be. So you want to think of the solution or transformation that you can offer your ideal client. So once you start becoming clear on what these three things are, then you can start to see how your products and services truly help people and make a difference in their life. And then when it comes time to make an offer, so let's say you're talking to your ideal client,
Right.
you determine what their problem is, and you know that you can help them. So you're offering your solution or your transformation. So you're really coming from a place of service and coming from a place of wanting to help. So then all of a sudden,
That's key.
the money that you're making in your business represents how many people you're helping in your business.
So that to me is a really key statement.
Yeah.
It just makes sense, right? Your barometer for knowing that you're helping people is how much business and the attraction that clients are coming to you because you've realized the value and you're helping people. That's just cool.
If you're coming from a place of being genuine and authentic
Right.
and
being
serving,
honest and truthful and working through stuff, then yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so this
Okay.
is a huge mindset shift that can happen for you, and that is, where everything can change.
Okay. So in this mix, going back to the value thing, I'm kind of stuck on that, right? And one of your questions on here is, well, how do you gain that value? What is I know you kind of went through a process a little bit. Is that process, what gets people to really discover their value? Is it just going through a learning curve? I mean, let's face it, right? How many times I'm going to ask you this personally. How many times have your packages changed, right? And you've gone up, right? Right. I mean, I really do think there's kind of a stair step, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't stay where you're at, right? You realize, I mean, you can't just say, okay, if you have one low package, you better have 5 others that make up the difference, right? You've got to be creative within your value, right?
Yep.
It may be you have to have a low price to be competitive, but you might have 5 other things you can offer on top of that bring the value up, right? You keep them as a consistent client, right? So to me, it's just learning, right? Somewhat?
Well, okay, there's a lot of caveats to what you just said.
Right.
So the first thing is, yes, you're going to be gaining experience as you're building your business, and you're going to continue to increase your prices and offer higher end programs as you build your clientele. And it's really just once you don't have the time anymore and your business is full, then you need to start creating programs that you can serve a larger amount of people that maybe don't require your one-on-one time so much, but then you can still help a lot of people. So you have to create a variety of different packages to accommodate all the needs of your ideal clients. You're going to have the ones that want to work one-on-one with you,
right,
and you do want to make yourself available for that, but of course they're going to pay for your time. Your time is extremely valuable. But then you also want to be able to offer some free things that people can experience.
To draw them in, to be attracted to the model.
They can experience your work and see the value that you provide and see some of the transformation that you can offer them.
Sure.
So again, there's a lot of different levels that you can offer, but as you grow your business and as you become an expert in your field, you really want to value that and make sure that you are leveraging your time properly.
Super. You know what? We are going to take we're going to let you catch breath. Okay. And then we're going to thank a couple more sponsors on the show so the people listening to the show know that this is coming. We've got some sponsors to mention, and we'll just do one right now, and that is I want to talk about Sherry Sally. Sherry Sally is with HSK Century 21, Georgetown, Texas. Her website is Wilco TX Homes, wilcotxhomes.com. And Sherry at the network meeting last week said, hurdy, please tell people that I'm looking for lots of listings. I work all Williamson County, and right now one of the things that we're in our business, she's had a very successful year. She's great with Century 21, but she's always looking for listings. So if you happen to catch this show in Austin or Williamson County and you are trying to either buy or sell your home, right? Buyers too. But she really, if you're trying to sell your home because you want to upgrade because it's a good time to do it, or you just want to downsize or something, let Sherry know, and you can find her at wilcotxhomes.com. See, that's that simple. That's how we do it around here. We just give them a little infomercial and build it into the show, right?
That's
Kitchen
right.
table talk. So let's go into your website again, because I know we mentioned this a lot during the show, and it almost seems that we go crazy on that a little bit, but it's good to have that mentioned throughout the show. So let's direct them to a website again.
Sure. If you'd love to get some helpful tips and tools and access to just some great training, free training, and learn a little bit more about what I offer, go to www.megantull.com for more information.
So, all right. So this we could talk about for pretty much a whole hour if we wanted to, because this is the thing that I listened when you did your speaking presentation. This was an area that you covered the whole time you spoke, right? And that is this. You ask, or you talk about negative beliefs around money, right? Where do these beliefs come from, and what can we do to change them? Because there is a negative belief about money, and I don't get it. Maybe you can help us with this, all right?
All right. Well, there's definitely a core belief system that most of us were brought up with, and it usually is around money. Yes, I mean it can be other things as well, but we're going to focus on how it affects your thoughts around money. So you may have heard of sayings growing up: money doesn't grow on trees, or you have to work hard for your money. I know in my household those things came up quite a bit. And what this does is it really instills a lot of fear and scarcity around money, and it's really disempowering to have those thoughts. And, you know, these negative beliefs can also be developed through personal experiences. Maybe you lost a job at one point in your life, and you were struggling to pay the bills, or you went into debt.
Sure.
You know, that's a negative experience. And really, just watching the TV, watching all the news with all the poverty and starvation in our country and in the world, that we relate that to those people not having enough money,
Gotcha.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So subconsciously, we're viewing money as being evil in some way. And, you know, with divorce and fighting over money, or family fights when, you know, somebody passes away and they have to divvy up the estates, what's the fighting about? The money.
Right.
So, again, all these experiences in our lives often relate the money and the scarcity and lack of the money. So these old negative beliefs really cause contraction, frustration, fear, stress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, they're really disempowering and cause us to, struggle with money, or often, be broke. So what has to happen is you have to start moving into expansion. And when you're in expansion, then you feel abundance, you feel peace and joy around money. So it really requires you thinking about what money can do. What are the positive effects of money?
Yeah, what can you do with it once you have it?
Yeah, I mean, certainly you can't help save the world if you're broke yourself.
But the world around you can. Oh, yeah, right. You can't.
So
yeah, you can't.
If you want to make a difference in the world and donate to your favorite charities or favorite organizations, you have to have money to be able to do that. And of course, you need money to be able to provide for your family and give opportunities for your children, such as college and so forth. So you really want to be able to start focusing on the abundance, and so if you really will attract what you focus on. So if you're focusing on the debt, you're focusing on the lack, you're going to attract more of that. If you shift your mindset and start focusing on the abundance or prosperity
right.
Around you, then you will attract more of that. And so this is a lot of the deeper work that I do with my clients.
Good. I was
And
going to say that there's more than just saying these
Oh,
words,
absolutely.
right? There's the actual process they need to go
everyone
through.
has their own story and how their belief system was developed, and you
Right.
really need to get to the core, the root of where that all started.
Sure.
And you have to address that. I mean, I've had clients that have had experiences with a father leaving them when they were younger, and so they always felt that rejected and felt that they weren't good enough, and that personal
Wow. Yes.
belief about themselves then also translates into
Just
their
extended right out
situation
into
with
their
money.
life,
Yes.
right? Their everyday life.
So, I mean, having to go through that process of finding out what their belief system is all about and where it started, and being able to identify it and then go through a process that I take my clients through, and being able to release those negative beliefs, then and only then can you truly start adopting some of the new healthier positive beliefs that are going to help you become successful.
Absolutely, because I know that was the short answer to a lot of work that people have to go through, because I do know that if your past stuff that you go through as an individual, right, can affect your present. It definitely will affect your future if you don't address them. And this is where I bring Megan in. Definitely go to her website and sit down with Megan and go through her consulting and what she does with you, and listen. She's really good. She's personal. She'd be a great coach for you. And if you're going through this, she's very specific on this stuff. I've had a little inkling on some of the videos just to see where you're going with it, and I'm telling you, you can really take somebody from A to Z or A to B, and you have a process for that. So I am telling the people listening right now, you need to really tap into Megan's story, because her story is real, and she's been there. She's a real good leader at the steps. So, and she'll get that belief system up, I promise you. Right?
Well, it's so frustrating for me to see, so many talented individuals, and they have the skills and the amazing products and everything that it takes to be successful, except for the positive mindset. So having these negative beliefs subconsciously in your mind, they're going to sabotage your success, and because they dictate all of your decisions in your life and all of your decisions you're going to be making in your business. So if you're coming from that place of lack or scarcity, you're not going to take the necessary risks or stretch like you need to
get there.
To be able to be successful, because you do have to step outside your comfort zone to be successful, and you won't have the opportunity or the mental capacity to do that if you are living in this place of lack and scarcity.
And understand that there's a difference between therapy and coaching, right? When we're not talking about laying on a couch and be a therapist and saying, have a good day, we'll see you later, right? Thanks for talking. The coaching is from your standpoint, at least what I understand sitting there talking to you, is more the hands-on, the action, identifying certain things that are holding you back, and then coming up with a way for you, the client, to take responsibility.
Yes.
And then you're kind of helping them be accountable to that process, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, through a series of questions and uncovering what those barriers are and those challenges, then together we work through an action plan to be able to move forward. But yes, it's absolutely up to my clients to take that information and actually implement it
and start rolling with
it. Yes, and the accountability process is very important because it's so easy to get caught up in life and not and lose focus. So to have a coach to assist you and support you and be there for you when you have those tough days, and just kind of keep you on track and keep you focused and keep you accountable is key, and that is the big difference.
I'm going to make a personal statement here that goes along with this. I am one of these people that believe that if you're running any kind of business in today's world, that you are going to need a coach, either now or later.
Mm-hmm.
But you will need a personal coach in some area if you want to be successful, because everybody needs to have somebody to be accountable to. I have one, right, and it's been a big help. right?
Yeah.
And so I'm saying that if you're listening in tonight and you're getting, hey, I like this, I like what I'm hearing, dive in. That's part of that fear thing, right? We're always thinking we can do everything ourselves, and we don't get out there and let other people help us, right? There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm stuck. I don't get what I need to do here, right? And that's
Right.
normal. Welcome to the party. We're all there, and so I think that's great. So that leads me to this. So you've actually had a pivot point, right? And where was your pivot point, say, in your personal transformation?
All right. So
Deeper, here we go.
yeah.
Even deeper.
This is another. I'm opening up to another adversity in my life. That was another big pivot point. So there's a point in my career when I was on top of my game, and I had my beautiful Lakeview house and my brand new SUV that I got to pull my brand new beautiful boat. It was always my dream to have my own boat. I love boating.
And you got it.
I got it. And, thanks to the vision board, right, and setting my vision and what I wanted.
Right.
And I got the opportunity to travel the world with my son and got to do some really cool things there. And then I let some disempowering beliefs sabotage my success.
So it happens to even Megan too, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I was in a very unhealthy relationship at that time, and I let the effects of that relationship, allow me to lose focus and lose confidence, and that ended up resulting in almost losing everything I owned.
And kind of a starting over point for you, really. So your pivot point was almost starting over, right?
Yeah, I mean, what a humbling experience that was. I mean, I'm a very proud person, a very hard worker, and it was just a really difficult time for me to go through that.
Scary.
And very scary, being a single mom. It was just me, so nobody really to go to. So this was a time where I was able to start doing some soul searching. And what was really interesting is it ended up being a very cleansing experience for me as well. When I lost my husband, I kind of tucked away a lot of the emotions.
Yeah, you think?
Because I had to be strong and carry on. And
you had a son. And,
like I remember a week after the funeral, I had to do a big presentation for 100 people. So I had to put my, game face on and be strong, and I never really dealt with those emotions properly, and it really affected all the relationships in my life. I was attracting all the guys that I saw their potential, but they didn't necessarily see it in themselves, and I wanted to fix everybody. I guess that's why I'm a coach now. But
but
anyway,
that's the wrong kind of fix.
Yeah,
right, okay,
it was not healthy. So I was starting to take a look at not only my business life, but my personal life. Okay, what is it that I really want for my personal life, and starting to get clear on that. And then also, professionally, I realized that I was attempting to make everyone else happy and kind of doing what other people wanted me to do. So I was starting to get clear on what my purpose was and why I was really brought on this planet.
Right.
What I was supposed to do. So through that process, I was able to attract my now husband, Andrew.
Nice guy, by the way.
We've been together for 5 years.
Awesome guy.
And he has 2 amazing daughters. And now I've created a very specific niche in my business where I'm working with these entrepreneurs, and through all of my challenges and experiences, I'm able to assist them. The confidence factor is huge, because that will allow you to have that belief system in believing what you offer has value.
Gotcha.
All right, and then with that belief, you start taking some action steps. And those action steps lead to results. And with the results, you start to gain more confidence.
Right.
And then your belief system grows even stronger. So that is a process that I teach that allows you to continue to be successful in business.
Okay. So I'm going to let you catch your breath for a minute. I'm going to kind of describe back what you just said, and that is this. First thing is the confidence gain has to be there, right? And then there's a series of action steps that you're going to take, right, that you're going to work through to get this confidence level built in, established in your belief system, right? So you're out feeling good about fulfilling yourself, correct? Right. And,
Yeah.
and you're hanging in, you're doing good.
I'm hanging in there.
You're fine.
So, yeah, the key is just really believe in what you're offering, because that's going to allow you to drive forward.
Okay.
And to take those action steps.
Okay.
Because that's where it's scary. You know, you're having to step outside your comfort zone, do something new, but the only way to get results is by taking action.
And another reason to put somebody like you with somebody and coach them, because I know through my coach, right, and I'm just speaking from experience here, that there are scary times, and you don't know what to do in the next step. And having somebody kind of help you talk through it, work through it, build that belief, and you may see something they don't see about themselves. Isn't that very true when you're looking?
Oh,
you can
absolutely.
all people
Different
can
perspective.
Get somebody, get the helicopter view and have somebody look down on you, right, and say, hey, I've noticed this, this, and this, right? And a good coach will help, and then say, but you know what? It's not a problem. We're going to work through this, because that's just critical to me. So you're just naming that's a big step, right?
Yeah, and you know what? A coach also will kind of shorten your learning curve. They've been there, done that. So, you know, you're finding the shortest path to success.
That helps. And,
you know, being able to get there a lot quicker. So, I mean, you could choose to figure it out on your own and struggle. Trust me, I've done that.
And lengthen the time by a ton. And we all get hard-headed when we first start, right? And we do that.
Yeah.
It goes back to what I said earlier, right, Megan, about sooner or later you're going to want to coach, right? And you may delay it, but I'm telling you this, the best time to do it is when you go, I'm stuck, go do it right then.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, honestly, if there's now, I can't tell you how many coaches I've had over the years, but now if there's anything that I'm facing, a new project or, you know, a goal that I have, then if I don't know how to do it myself, then I hire a coach.
Right.
And they guide me and assist me and support me through the process, because I'm not going to waste my valuable time on trying to figure it out. I'd much rather follow in the footsteps of somebody who's already been there.
Yeah, and also good coaches like yourself, which is, we're talking about you, and I know this for a fact from being around you enough doing the video stuff. I know that you're, and I'm going to say it the way I feel it, right? And that is, you're pretty direct about letting people know where you stand with something and asking questions, right? I appreciate that. Listen, nobody wants somebody beating around the bush and not getting to it, right? They want to know, this is what I think, this is what I feel, what do we do? And that's what a good coach does. Listen, there's times a good coach is going to put you on the spot. And I don't mean that bad. I mean, you know, some guy you coach, right, an entrepreneur may come up and say, I got an idea, and after you hear it, you go, maybe you should think about that, right?
Yeah.
So you direct them, right?
Well, you know, it's tough love, right? You have to be their advocate. You have to be there to support them. At the same time, you want them to be successful. So if you see them going down the wrong path, you know, it's really up to the coach to guide them back on the right path.
Now, my next segment is really exciting with you, because I know you're excited about it, and that is that you are currently, and time flies, doesn't it?
I know.
You are currently writing a book, and is it possible at this point to share the name of that book, or tell us a little bit about what's going on?
I think I can do that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, writing a book has been a dream of mine for probably about 10 years now.
Woo-hoo.
And it wasn't until the beginning of this year that, you know, it was the right time. I knew the beginning of this year, okay, this is the year that I'm going to write my book. So the name of the book right now, and things can change, right? But It's called The Passion Belief Method, Own Your Value and Earn Your Worth. And this book shares many of the lessons and blessings I've learned over my 25 years or so of being a business owner and entrepreneur, and constantly striving to be the best. And I've been through so many different trainings and learning everything I can to be the best version of myself. And I've also had, the opportunity to learn so much from my clients.
Right, and so you've got a story that goes along with this book too. So
yeah, I share a lot of my,
awesome. Right.
my experiences for myself and my clients.
Right.
And, I was able to put everything together and be able to simplify it. And what that birthed was the Passion Belief Method, 5 steps to your empowered self, where you'll have the opportunity to identify and the barriers that are holding you back, and be able to release those barriers, and then also identify your values, the things that are the most important to you in your life.
Exactly.
So getting really clear on those and prioritizing your values. Also getting clear on your passion and what your purpose is. And then the final step is to adopt your new empowering passion beliefs. And that will allow you to move forward as your new confident, empowered self.
Awesome.
So, then you'll be able to really get out there, share your gifts with the world, and get paid generously for it.
And so this book's going to be experiences you've been through with research you've done and putting this whole package together, right?
Yes.
And I know a little bit about it, and I'm not going to give it away, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But how cool is that? So
it should be coming out.
I was going to say my next question
fall
was,
2014. So.
Okay, so you're still working on it, but you're getting there, and you see light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, as a writer. Correct?
Yeah, it is a process, and yes, I do have a coach that has coached me through the whole
Is this
process.
coach a writer?
She's written 6 bestsellers.
Okay, so this helps with
the
understanding
book proposal and creating a solid book proposal and platform is really key to get in with the good publishers. So, so again, a new project, something that I'm kind of foreign to. I go to people who have been there, done that, and have them guide me and show me the way. So.
That's cool. And so late fall 2014, and you've probably got publishers and all that stuff lined up. All this is part of what's going on, and it's going to be.
We're in the thick of it now.
It's going to be a bestseller on New York Times. You've already got that in your head. You've already got that belief system. That's in the
vision. So we'll see how it plays
all right,
out.
but that's fine. All right, so we're going to take a break for a minute. Mention one more sponsor, then come back to the final 2 questions, because I know there's some important stuff you want to give our listeners tonight, which is really awesome, by the way. And so let's talk a little bit about, and it's tax season, right, coming up. We always love this time of year. This year went so fast, Megan. I mean, you look up and it's December going in Christmas. We just celebrate Thanksgiving. But you know what? That doesn't stop that ball from rolling that's coming up in April. So listen, one of my good friends, Mario Armando, with Liberty Tax in Georgetown, has 2 locations, but the main location that he wants you to contact him, and he's been doing speaking engagements in the Obamacare thing and going out and explaining the insurance part, the tax part, so he's really kind of one of those speaker presenters that happens to be an accountant. Does that make sense? And so you can reach him, Liberty Tax, Georgetown, Texas, at 512-863-7767. That's 512-863-7787. And don't worry, sponsors. All these sponsors I've mentioned tonight have their own personal link on the custom player that will be part of the show when it's over and we get it all built and put together late tonight. And so thank you, sponsors, once again for joining us on this show tonight. And for those of you we didn't mention, don't worry, you have a link to your website, and we'll catch you the next week on the next show. So, Megan, you've got you have some special gifts, right?
I do.
To hand out to listeners tonight. And since this is an ongoing archive, let me ask you right now, since this is an ongoing show, will this gift for the listeners tonight also be the gift for the listeners a week from now?
Sure.
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
It will absolutely work for both.
All right.
All right, so my free gift to all of the listeners is my Passion Belief Method video training series. So this is 3 content-rich videos. You'll get to learn the 3 common challenges heartfelt entrepreneurs face that prevent them from reaching their true potential in their life and in their business. So all you have to do to access this free video training series is go to www.passionbeliefmethod.com. Again, it's www.passionbeliefmethod.com. That'll take you to an opt-in page. You can watch a short video there. But all you need to do is fill out your name and email address, and you'll be able to gain access for that series. I'm also going to send you my free bi-monthly subscription to my my purpose, passion, and prosperity, journal.
Cool.
So this will come out every other week, and you'll get it right in your inbox. You get powerful tips and strategies for your business, and for there's also life and wellness tips.
So, and that's ongoing, and that's the cool thing. I like the fact that the video series is there for people to go listen to, and then get with you further on some other things. But what I really like is your proactive part of keeping information flowing out to somebody that subscribes into your system, where you can say, hey, I'm just wanting to pick you up or lift you up today. Here's a tip, right, or something you went through, whatever that may be, right? So they're getting this kind of ongoing Megan tips and things to generate them to think. That's really
great
cool.
Way to connect with my community and be able to share some cool things that are going on with me personally, but also some great things that will be helpful in your life and business.
Okay, now I know you listen, y'all. For Megan tonight came in and hasn't. I want to tell her. I want to give her credit for something. She came in not feeling well tonight, and she is a trooper, and I mean that, Megan, for coming, because you've had a sore throat, you're fighting through it, you got hot liquids over here, and you're still smiling, and you're fighting through it, and you sound great, by the way. I just want you to know that, okay? But one thing I want to ask you, and I don't see the question on here, and I'm going to throw it at you. It won't surprise you, okay? And that is, you're a great speaker. You get out in front of people and go through a beautiful slideshow presentation. Are you open to doing speaking engagements? If they wanted to invite you, I know it's on your website probably, but if they want to invite you out to speak to groups, is there a typical size group or a type of group of people you're looking for?
Well, I love to speak with, in particular, entrepreneurs or small business owners. And, really any organization that's looking to provide valuable content for their group.
And depending on the organization you speak to, you could travel to it. Of course, that has to be worked out right, but you're available to travel anywhere to do this within limits,
it's
right?
It's circumstantial. It depends. But absolutely, that's a possibility.
That's cool. We have covered so much information tonight. I mean, for those people that are listening live, we appreciate it. For those of you that will be listening to this at On Demand and Archive, you're going to be chock full of a lot of great information tonight that Megan is pushing out to obviously draw you in to take a look at her stuff. But I know from being around her, she's a great person. She's a great coach. She's methodical. I would say direct, sweet, kind. All those things go into that whole mix, right? You're a business person, and I think people need to know you're a business person. And when they come in and say, "Okay, I don't believe in myself," they're going to get a dose of Megan in the coaching, and she's going to show them how to turn that around. I think that's awesome. So we only have a couple more minutes. We really are bumping into the top of the hour here because we started a little bit early too. So anything you want to, any kind of final thoughts, anything you want to throw at us tonight?
Yeah, I would love to leave. I'm glad that you asked that, because I really want to encourage people to not be afraid and to go after what they really want. If you have an idea or a dream, then you also have the means and know how to achieve it. And so I challenge everyone on the line to be courageous, take inspired action, and share your gifts with the world. And I want to thank everybody for being with us this evening.
Yeah, this is our broadcast number 78, Megan, and every week I get to meet a new Austin business owner, and I get to find out what makes them tick, and I get to have them as guest on the show, and I get to know them better. And I would say that everybody that's been on this show is a friend. Yes, we do business, but they're all friends first. That's how I treat. I decided that in my journey, that the people I do business with are going to be my friends, right? Because I want them to be able to talk to me, and I want to be able to talk back to them. I don't want it to be just chop, 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 right? There's got to be some fun stuff going on.
Well, you want to be able to do business with somebody you respect,
and you want to get referrals, right? but you also want to say hi, and you want to just say, I'm just dropping in, say hi, an email, checking out, make sure you're okay. Those kind of things are really important in building the know, like, like trusting, right? But I will tell you that you guys need to really consider talking to Megan. That's all I'm going to say. Just go check out megantull.com. Follow the bouncing ball in there to all the different places you can go, experiment their site, look at it, look at the videos, check out her free stuff that she offers in books and ebooks and all the stuff you do. It's really well. And oh, by the way, 2 things to finish up with you. Favorite color?
My favorite color is actually red.
But
you'd think it would be purple.
Right. See, that's why I asked that.
My branding, but
okay.
It's actually red.
All right. So one more thing, and I told you this before the show. I want to know last concert you went to and favorite band.
Oh, that's very easy. Last concert and happens to be my favorite band is the Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was so ironic. Actually, today after my run, I turned the TV on to do a little workout, and the Goo Goo Dolls happened to be on the Kelly
How
and
good does that
Michael
get?
show.
That's awesome. Okay.
So there you go.
Enough fun for the night. Thank you, Megan, for being a part of this show. We want to thank our listeners for joining us on the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network, and we are here every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. I would like to announce tonight that the 17th of December is the last show of the year. We start a new series of 20 shows on January 7th. So we will be taking a break after the 17th of December till the 7th of January, but there's 81 archives to go play with on YouTube, so you have no excuse to listen to one of our shows, okay? Go.